Hey, what's up guys? Coach Mac, Play Fast Football. Today we're going to do a video taking a look at how we use the mic as a fourth rusher to generate movement in our tight front. Make sure you check out some of our partners, GameStrat, the sideline replay system that we use here at Bishop Kenny. Highly reliable, highly affordable, great customer service. Make sure you check out GameStrat. Dome, which is a headwear company we use, Play Fast Football, and at Bishop Kenny. Completely customizable hats. They have an online hat builder. You go on there, you design your own hat, change the styles. You can change the colors. You put your own logo on there. You can put embroidery on there. You can change the enclosure on the back, snapback, Velcro fitted. So it's completely customizable. Every hat has a story. Let Dome help you tell the story of your hat. All right, Baker Sporting Goods, a local company here we use. All right, coaching shirts like this are from Baker. Our uniforms come from Baker's. Spirit packs, almost all of our players' gear comes from Baker's, our coaches' gear, and then our fan gear. So if you want to get all of your players, coaches, fan gear in one convenient location and spot, all right, with consistent sales reps, make sure you check out Baker Sporting Goods. JustPlay, which is the playbook software we use. We use it not only for our playbook, but a lot of our presentations, our installs and meetings with kids, game plan presentations. You can attach your video clips to it. Makes it look really clean, really professional. If I were speaking at any clinics, I would use JustPlay to present at the clinics that I am speaking at. DifferenceUSA, ultimate striking machine. Get thousands of reps without needing a partner. Elbows in, thumbs up. You can put them in your weight room. You can put them out on the practice field. All right, they have different tensions in the coils, so as your kids get stronger, it makes it harder to leverage in. But when you're talking about the skill, technique, fundamentals of where your eyes go, where your elbows go, where your thumbs go, trying to strike things and move them like you're going to need to block people and to take on blocks. All right, you get thousands of reps. You don't need a partner. Really safe and easy to use, so make sure you check out DifferenceUSA. CoachTools, which is a company that just started up with some guys that played college football. It's a player evaluating grading tool. So if you're tired of the old-fashioned way, writing things down or maybe typing them out, this has a software where you make your own columns. You put in the things that you want to put in for your players, and now it creates a professional, clean-looking grading, evaluating tool report for your kids that looks a lot better than just something typed up or handwritten. So make sure you check out CoachTools. So we just finished our season. We lost in the first round of the playoffs Saturday night. We were 8-2 this year. Played predominantly tight front, 3-high defense. We won our district championship, beat a team that we haven't beaten in 45 years. Had 4 shutouts on the year. Had 23 takeaways. I think by the end of the year we probably gave up 15 or 16 points a game. So did some really good things on defense. And you know, for us, we are a smaller unit. Our 2 defensive ends that started most of the year, before one of them got hurt, they were 200 pounds, maybe 205 pounds. The nose we started using most of the year was about 210 pounds. We would bring in some other offensive linemen at times, but they were maybe 230, 235. So we never really got anybody bigger than 230 pounds up front. So to me, in the tight front system, we were a lot lighter. So we had to create movement and different ways to move while still kind of trying to stay in the theory of tight front, which means for us, we want to take away interior gaps, right? We want to make the ball spill out to the C gaps, and then we want to support it with second and third level players. So one of the things that we found this year with our 3-high stuff is, compared to the defenses from the past couple years, we limited explosive plays way more this year than we did in the past. And you know, myself and the head coach kind of think it's that third level, that extra safety, that 3-high deal. You know, you're creating a defense that has more layers to it. We were able to get guys on the ground and eliminate explosive plays. And then the fact that, you know, the tight front, we were able to dial in what runs we were going to get and what teams were going to do to attack us. And then how we fit the third safety from that 3-high look, we were able to get some clean runs, you know, near the line of scrimmage and slow some things down before they were just ripping vertically at us. So it was very good to us. But one of the things that we found, because we were so light, we had to generate movement in the tight front, right? And it's not as easy, just like the old-fashioned slant and angle days in the 50, because when you're playing things that may end up with a really light box, especially versus one-back stuff, where maybe you have a will that's removed and your Sam's not part of the box, and your will's removed because it's 2x2 one-back stuff, you have got to stay within the theory of tight front, light box, what it does, and that's really take away 4 interior gaps with 4 players. Right? Or occupy 5 linemen with 4 players. When you hear a lot of the big-time college guys or even the NFL guys talk a lot of times, it's, hey, we want to occupy 5 with 4. Well, for me, the simplicity of it is I want to take both A gaps and both B gaps, with 4 players. All right, and the only time that we can move and leave a gap open is if we know that the will is going to be in the box in some type of 2-back setting, right? If we do that, now we get ourselves in a world where we have 1 open gap with 1 linebacker, which was very similar in the 4-2-5 days. What we would do is, if we had to, is we would either 2-gap a guy and give him an automatic read where he could cancel, like to us in the open B gap back in the day when we were a 4-2-5 team. To the open B gap, we might let that end 2-gap to where if he gets any base blocks that come at him, he's going to take the B gap away. And then any down blocks, he knows he can squeeze spill, because we wanted to make sure we eliminated the B gap and the A gap was the only gap open in the box if we had a 4-1 box with just a Mike linebacker in there. Okay, so very similar in theory. We want to take away all these interior gaps, right? So we use the Mike as a 4th because we don't use the Mike in our coverages. We don't count the Mike in our coverages. He's a late add-on. He's a spy guy. He's not in our traditional split field coverages, because your traditional split field coverages have 7 guys in them. So when we drop 8, we don't need the Mike in those coverages. We can play all of our traditional split field stuff, and the middle safety takes the place of the Mike, right? So one of the first ones we used, all right, was we looked at a neck stunt, okay, where we sent the nose front to the side of the nose first, sorry, the penetrator to the side of the end. So penetrate that A gap. All right, try to bring that end back to the other A gap. All right, based on what the center's doing, the center comes to him. He's going to cross the center face. If the center's working away, he's going to have to flatten out and try and put a body in that A gap to occupy that A gap. We would bring the Mike off of that movement in the B gap, front side there. We would leave the 4-eye on the back side in the B gap. And then again, for us, the Mike, all right, was the kind of spy add-on. So when we get to a deal where we're sending 4 and we don't have the Mike as a spy, what we've got to do is whoever is the B-gap player has got to work contain off of pass sets. So in this instance, it's the anchor here. So if he gets a pass set, he's got to kind of work outside for contain. And now the Mike, off of his B-gap movement, if he got a pass set, he's got to work outside. Unless they can penetrate so deep that they become contain players. All right, if they get hi-hats and they can't penetrate, they're going to have to ricochet back outside because we have no add-on rusher. We've got to get back into some type of 4-man rush theory where you can keep the pocket. In our 3-down stuff, so this is the next stunt. This is nose first, and behind it, Mike in the B gap, right? In our base 3-down stuff, I can tell the 4 eyes to win wherever they want, and they don't have to ricochet or work out for contain. I can tell the 4-eye that he can win wherever he wants. All right, so if he gets a pass set, he can win outside, inside. He can win wherever he wants because the Mike, for us, is a spy or an add-on late rusher. So when you have the spy or the late add-on, if the 4 eyes don't contain and the quarterback leaves, the Mike can add on. Well, as soon as we bring the Mike in the deal with these 4-man games, now we got to understand those B-gap players are going to have to ricochet and work back outside when they are getting passed because we're going to lose contain because the will is in coverages. All right? Well, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. I still stick with it in high school football. I am okay with not generating a huge pass rush on most downs, base downs, because I think most of them are play action. They are run downs. Okay, like the other night in our playoff game, when the other team threw the ball, it was either an action shot or it was some type of intermediate stick spacing game. The ball was out of their hand very quickly. There aren't a lot of teams that we play on our schedule that drop back pass and sit in the pocket and the quarterback's going to be on a dot. And you're trying to get to the quarterback or get them off that dot. That's not the style of play in high school football that we see even in Florida. We don't see a lot of those teams. We see a lot of quick screens. We see a lot of spread access throws. And then we see a lot of play action 7-man protection shots. So for us to generate pass rush, we've got to be very particular about when we think we need to generate pass rush. Obviously, longer third downs, we let our 4 eyes play in 5 techniques, or we bring third down packages in. But in base downs, to me, I'm never worried about generating pass rush. I'm worried about stopping the run or limiting the run game. Right? So the next stunt was the first one, nose first and second. All right. The twist stunt is something we did off of our Mike up. So we would play the Mike. If we had inline tight ends, we would play the Mike in what we call Mike tight. If we were seeing 2x2 to where they were giving us like an off-the-ball Y, all right, we would play what we call Mike weak, and we would play the Mike away from the Sam, kind of giving us that mint front look. So we had some different ways that we could play the Mike up on the ball. Okay, so So the mic being up for us is something that we do. It's part of our base package. Okay, so the next one that we ran that was pretty good to us was from the mic Tite version, or the mic, I do it from the field sometimes. Okay, we would run the twist stunt with those two to where we would penetrate with the end, and when we would bring the mic behind, we'd work the nose to the opposite A gap, and again, we would leave the backside anchor in the B gap unless he got a pass set. So now this penetrator has to contain passes by either penetrating deep enough that the quarterback has to stay in the pocket or ricocheting back outside. Now the anchor has to ricochet back outside. Because I'm using the mic as my fourth rusher, I can't use him as a spy add-on. So if the quarterback breaks the pocket, I have nobody left. Right? So this one was good to us, especially versus some zone scheme teams, because they would work the combo, and you know, when they start to work out and the guard works out to the 4-eye, the center kind of usually hangs on the nose with the guard up to the will, and now you bring the mic back behind. All right, so we got a lot of mileage out of that. We always ran that out of our 4-down stuff. We always called it twist, so we still called it twist. All right, so that was just a mic from his up alignment. We could have did it if we were in the mint front. All right, so if we were in mint front and we had the mic away from the Sam, we could do the same thing, and anchor penetrates, mic long sticks, nose goes away, you leave the end as a 4-eye there, and then again, the anchor and the end have to ricochet out for contain on pass. All right, so that was the twist stunt that we used a little bit. Okay, and then the next one was a nail stunt, all right, where we would do it, like the nail stunt we would do a lot of times on the weak side, we use it with the nose and the anchor. Alright, so we'd have nose, anchor, and we use the mic. Let's say there, Sam, corner, left safety, middle safety, right safety, corner. There's the will. Okay, so what we would do is we would take the 4-eye and we would read stunt off the guard. So the 4-eye would work down inside, guard at him, he crosses his face. Okay, guard goes away, he's got to chase it down. We would take the nose and we would then loop him behind. Okay, we would then loop him behind, tight to the anchor, and we would try and keep him in the B gap, depending on the blocking scheme that we were getting. We would try and keep him in the B gap underneath, all right, the tackle, so that we can still take away the A and the B gap to that side. We would then walk the mic up and plug, leave the end there. So now versus pass sets, the nose was the guy that had to keep going. The end had to ricochet out, because anytime I'm using the mic as my fourth, I lose the spy, I lose my ability to add on the mic, so I can't let the quarterback break contain. All right, but within the run game, what we did was we left the interior gaps. Okay, we left the interior gaps covered. R4 and therefore R4 occupying 5, so that we knew where the ball should be sent and where our guys running the alley needed to be. All right, so it's tight front. We are trying to stay within the theories of tight front. All right, and understand that we need to take away these 4 interior gaps. Versus 2 back, we could get away with leaving 1 gap open. Okay, and what I'll probably show you, I'll show you next how we could run. All right, instead of pirate, I'll show you blood. So versus 2 back, there were times where I would leave 1 interior gap open, or we would at least attempt to leave 1 interior gap open because we had the will in the box. Okay, but most times we were trying to take away the 4 interior gaps with the 3 down and the mic, and we were trying to get the ball to spill off the edge and get our support players and our alley players, and we were trying to support runs from the 2nd and 3rd level and get extra heads to the ball that hopefully were unblocked, because the ball running at us vertically is where we have a lot of issues because we were so light. All right, and then when we would run the blood stunt, all right, when we ran the blood stunt, what we would do is we would take the nose and we would try and move him out to the B gap. We'd take the 4-eye and move him out to the B gap. We'd leave the inside A gap open if it was 2 back, because we knew we had an A gap player in the will. Okay, and now what we did was we kind of created that almost under front. We still left the end in the 4-eye though, because if I had only the will in the box, even though the middle safety is a hard run fitter for us, I didn't like leaving an interior gap open for the middle safety. I always wanted the middle safety fitting off of things that were going east and west, and he was an alley runner. Right? So if I would move the end on this and get back to a traditional 4 down front, now that the front side B gap's open and back side A gap's open, I only have one backer in the box. Do I want to tie that middle safety to an open B gap? And for me, again, this is just a personal preference. For me, I felt better leaving the end there and ricocheting and working out on pass. So now that the middle safety, any runs coming to him, we know that that's the force player and I'm running the alley. All right, because we know that the ball should go over the top. And now the only open gap weak side is the A gap that the will can fit. And then normally for us, we're a drop down safety team or a hard coverage corner team. Okay, so for us in the tight front, it was very good to us. Like I said, 8 wins, district championship, 4 shutouts, scored 3 touchdowns on defense, I believe. We had generated 23 takeovers. Did a lot of really good things. More bend, don't break theory. To say that we just shut people down, playing tight 3 high would be a complete lie. People moved the ball on us, but we had enough answers and enough wrinkles off of our tight 3 high that when we got our backs in the red zone, we had the ability to make a lot of plays and hold people to field goals or create turnovers and get off the field. And one of those things was creating movement from the tight front. And again, one of the things, it'd be real easy to say that we're a movement team if we were, an odd, we're a 50 base team and we're a nose and we're an end and we're an anchor. All right, and there's your Mike, your Will, and your Jack's here and your Sam or however you want to look at it. And it's very easy to say that we're creating movement by moving the whole front and bringing a guy off the edge. Well, that's not the world we wanted to live in because this creates 2 open gaps. So you have to have 2 backers in the box. We were a 3 high safety team. So for us as a 3 high safety team, we wanted to live in a world of tight front and taking away interior gaps. So I had to come up with a couple different ways using the mic to run some games, to get the mic involved, to kind of change the blocking schemes a little bit, to hit some things on the fly, and to move my defensive linemen who were undersized based on some of the teams that we're playing. I had to find ways to move them, and a tight front is kind of a static front that doesn't move much. They know where you are, and when they know where you are, you're going to get all your beaters, so you're going to get your pin pulls, and you're going to get speed option and some things. You're going to get keepers and boots because of where your guys are sitting. So we had to move a little bit. Now, that's not to say, yes, we bring the mic up and play the mic as a 4th rusher on the ball. Yes, we played some even front deals. So anybody that played us throughout the year would say, would tell you that I'm lying if I said we only played tight. Yes, we played some even front deals throughout the year. Yes, we also played some straight 3-4 deals from split field coverage. All right, but 90 or 80% of our defense was based around the tight world, tight front theory and taking away interior gaps and trying to get the ball to roll. Even when we went to 4 down, we played 4 down from 3 high. And I've talked about this several times before, where we played some 4 down stuff. And when we played it from 3 high, and we tried to keep one gap open in the box because if I drew up a traditional, let's say, split back team, all right, and I drew up from us in our 4 down, if I drew up the end there, the tackle there, the nose there, the anchor there, for us, the only guy in the box was him because my Sam would be there, my middle safety would be fitting from the 3rd level off of 3, and then you'd have this structure right here. So when we got into deals like this, we were always trying to do things like pirate. So now again, there's only one open gap, it's the weak side B gap. If the ball goes front side, the Will knows he can run. We would do things like twist. Okay, again, if the ball comes front side, it should go out. Sam's the force player, and now the middle safety runs the alley. I never wanted the ball entering in a front side open gap to my middle safety. That's not what we were designed to do. All right, we even played, there were times where we would play a 3 and a 5 with a 2 and a 4 on the backside, and now the only open gap is the front side A, and if the ball goes weak, we know it's going to roll off the table because we've got a 2 and a 4. So now we know if it was going weak, we're over the top down there because we know where the ball's going to get sent just because of the front. So there were times, again, in high school, I would play this style front. Okay, I would play this style front, and then he would have to ricochet on pass because we're playing 4 down and we don't have a spy or an add-on. But I completely have kind of built a lot of my defensive thoughts and theories now around tight front philosophy, even when we're in 4 down. Taking away interior gaps, stunting to take away interior gaps, trying to leave no interior gaps or only one interior gap open getting away from the old school over-under where you have an A gap and a B gap there. We're trying to cancel all those gaps and make the ball go out to where we can run to it east and west, and we can play it from the back end. All right, so I hope that helps you guys. Make sure you click on the subscribe button. Make sure you click and turn your notifications on so you know every time we do a video. I'm going on YouTube Live at 7 o'clock tonight, so if your notifications on, you'll know that I'll be on YouTube Live. Make sure you leave a comment. I respond to every comment that I can see on my end. Thumbs up, thumbs down if you like it. If you don't like it, that's your prerogative. I just appreciate you watching the video. If you're still playing football, good luck to you, all the teams that are still in the playoffs. All right, I hope all you guys win. I hope you stay healthy and you finish the year off with a championship. To everybody that's out of the playoffs, I'm now one of those people. Let's get moving in the offseason. Let's start talking about the 2023 PlayFast Clinic. Let's start talking about where we're going to go, where we're going to visit, what we want to do to get better as coaches. Appreciate everything you do for me. Remember, you won't play well until you play fast, and I will see you guys next time.